Yesterday, Berger Paints came out with numbers that were in line with street expectations. You had a PAT figure of about 44.4 crore rupees, which was up 19% on a YOY basis. Top line also saw a strong move of about 16% growth on a YOY basis, 803 odd crore rupees. Management joins in right now. Mr. Abhijit Roy, the MD at Berger Paints, is here with us. Mr. Roy, let's start off first with the key highlights. Your margins this time around has improved as well, 9.8% in terms of EBITDA margins versus an expectation that we had of about 9.4%. What contributed to this expansion?
There are two reasons for it. First of all, we have had a sale of emulsions which is slightly more profitable, which the sale of that particular product category was much higher in the first quarter. The second reason is that we did get some amount of price increase in the industrial business line, which is still pending. In the second quarter, we expect that further increases will happen in terms of the margin because of the price increase which we will get in the industrial business line.
Particularly for emulsions, what is the projection like? Well, this time around it has contributed well enough. Is that supposed to be the trend going forward, and you'll see more of a contribution from emulsions now than from the industrial side, or probably it'll balance out?
Yeah, I think the emulsion percentage will keep creeping up. Our entire advertisement is focused on emulsions, and it is likely that we will keep getting an upswing in the emulsion sales as a percentage of total contribution will go up in emulsions, which is where the margins are in the paint industry, and therefore we think that the operating margin will keep going up for us.
Currently, what is the contribution of emulsions and at what margins?
I will not be exactly able to tell you the percentage, but the margin is relatively much higher than the normal average operating margins, about 70 to 80% higher than the normal margins of other products put together.
All right. What about overall volumes? Could you give us an indication as to what could the growth look like over the coming few quarters?
This quarter, the volume growth was in the range of about the high single-digit figure. I think going forward in the second half, I think things are going to improve significantly. This is the expectation that all of us have. The government of India obviously is making some changes. Infrastructure development is going to get priority. Along with that, I think the overall economy should look up a bit in the second half, in which case the volume growth should be higher. There is another reason for it. The base levels were much higher last year in the first quarter and the subsequent quarter, but after that it had slowed down a bit. So we have a possibility of getting a slightly higher growth rate in the top line in the second half.
Could you talk a little bit more about your commodity prices, raw material prices, particularly as we see titanium oxide as well as crude oil prices coming off a bit?
Titanium dioxide has actually been coming off a bit. Prices have dropped a little bit. Unfortunately, the drop has entirely been wiped out by the rupee depreciation, so we did not see that advantage. But the prices continue to soften. If this trend continues, we will have an advantage in the second and the third quarter.
All right. Last two questions, before I let you go. Firstly, let's start talking about prices. You've already taken price hikes to the tune of about 10 to 12% over the last 1 year. Any indications of any further price hikes?
Well, not as yet, unless the oil prices, the MTO, which is a significant contribution, the mineral turpentine oil in our solvent-based paint, if those prices go up, then, there might be a need to take up prices again in India. Otherwise, there is no need. As of today, we are reasonably comfortable. We did take a price increase in the month of May, 1st of May onwards. That impact will come through fully in the second quarter onwards. So, you will see a operating margin expansion in the second quarter.
All right. And lastly, could you give us an update on how the Polish acquisition Bolix is doing for you?
Bolix acquisition has helped us on two fronts. One, we are going to bring in some of the technology, especially texture coating technology into India. and that is going to be, because Europe, they use a lot of texture coatings on exteriors, which is not so prevalent in India as of today. We expect to bring this technology into India, and that should help us, creating a new product category in India for ourselves. The second part of it is it has started doing well of late. The first 6 months has been relatively much better this year in terms of profit expansion. So that will reflect in the results when it comes in.
All right. Sure enough, sir. We wish you all the best for the coming few quarters, Mr. Roy. Thank you very much for taking out the time and speaking with us.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.